Hello everybody, and welcome back to the ranch. I'm going to do a modification on this 1911 that will give you at least a perceived reduction in recoil. I don't have the equipment to actually measure it. This is something that I do to all of my 1911s, and I've always felt that it gives you less of a felt recoil, but whether it does or not, the one thing it does do is it changes kind of the dynamics of the recoil. And as you're firing, when the slide comes back, instead of it giving you a muzzle flip kind of situation, it gives you more of a push up. And if that, whether it actually reduces the recoil or not, I really can't tell you. But really, it's a fairly easy fix, and if you want to try it, it's okay. The parts you need to fix it are about $3, so they're really not very expensive. There's some legitimate physics in it that would make sense that it would do what it advertises. However, there's also people that say it really doesn't. The thing that I've found, though, is if you actually go back to an original 1911 blueprint, and when you look at this part on the print, basically it shows it in the configuration that we're going to replace this one with. And the part that we're talking about here is the slide stop. EGW makes a oversized slide stop that you can custom fit into your pistol. And the reason that you want this particular one, I've also got one out that I've taken out of a pistol previously, is just looking at the two, you can see that the EGW one does not have this angle cut in it. And this angle is what we're wanting to eliminate, and the reason behind that is, and this is where the physics of it come into play, is with that angle, it's a kind of an OG curve that's cut into the bottom of your firing pin stop. I'll pull these in a little bit closer, and I don't know that you'll be able to really see the difference in the two or not, but at least we'll try and give you an idea of what's going on with the two of them. You can kind of see how the one has that OG curve cut the bottom of it. Like I say, this is where the physics come into it. The idea with cutting this nice smooth curve into it is that as the slide pushes back, it very smoothly pushes that hammer back, and then as the slide returns back forward, your hammer of course is left in the cocked position. And the idea with the curve is this makes this slide operation and recoil and back to battery much faster. Well, with the physics of it, if you're thinking about it and you're thinking, okay, that slide is coming back faster, and until it hits the stop and then comes back, that's where you're getting your muzzle flip at. So what the idea of changing that stop out and eliminating that curve is, that OG curve in the bottom is as the slide comes back, it hits on that hammer. It just delays the slide going back into full recoil a split second, allowing, basically what it allows is it allows just enough time for the bullet to be fired out of the barrel before that slide starts coming back into recoil. And so what's happening is that bullet's fired out of the barrel, and then your recoil procedure starts, and it allows the gun to just basically kind of come up more than give you the actual flip as it does. So anyway, we're going to show you how to change that slide stop. This is probably going to be a long video. One of the things we're going to have to do is go back and forth in and out of the shop, but we'll go ahead and take the slide off this and we'll get started here. I'll set that frame aside here to of course, to remove the slide stop that's in there. We just press it on the firing pin, and that slide stop will come out the bottom, and firing pin sitting right there, firing pin spring inside. So we're going to go out to the shop and we're going to tune this brand new EGW firing pin stop to our slide. So we'll be back with you in just a minute, and we'll get set up out there and show you what we're going to do. Okay, one of the first things we're going to have to do to this is we're going to have to take a bit off of each of the sides here, and then just a bit off of this back face with a file. And once we've got that done, then we'll polish that up. And like I say, just a standard file here that we're going to use. And like I say, we're just going to lightly and evenly take it off to get that to fit that slide. And this is just more of a fiddly procedure than anything else, because it's just one of those things that you take a couple of swipes and test fit, take a couple more swipes and test fit. Because you're just removing a very, very small amount of metal each time to make it even until it's capable of fitting into that slide. Get our slide here and just test fit this in. Looks like we probably got the width pretty close. Take a little bit off of the back here. I want you to notice, I don't know if you can see this or not. I'm running the file fairly flat across there, and yet you'll see where it's taken off high spots and such. And it's kind of what we're having to do to get this fit down. Because what we want is, we want this to fit into the slide as tightly as possible without any real excess movement. So we're just taking our time, taking a few swipes out, and then test fitting that in, and it's just about there. Once we've got it to where it'll fit in the slide tightly, then we're there. The next thing we're going to do is, as you saw earlier, in that did not have the curve in it. And what we're going to do is we're just going to slightly take this very edge off. One, maybe two swipes with the file is all that we're going to need with that. I'm going to put that in there. Like about a 45-degree angle on it. And we're just going to basically break that edge. We're not really wanting to take anything off of it at all. We're just wanting to break that corner off. Let's see if I can get it in a frame there. Just wanting to break that corner off so that it's not square. And that'll be all the edge that we need. We'll move you over to the buffer and buff this thing up for you. Alright, you guys have seen the buffer. You know we're using a carborundum wheel. And like I say, all we're going to do is just take and polish those edges. Not use hardly any pressure at all when we're doing that. And like I say, that corner that we just took off, we're just going to put just a slight polish on it, remove the tool marks and smooth it up. That's it. Alright. What we're left with, you can kind of see that edge there, and how it's smoothed off. The other thing we'll want to get into is with these oversized ones, sometimes this will not be right at the bottom of the slide, so that's something that we want to double check before we head back into the house. So we'll get our slide out here and put her stop in, and yeah, we're good and flush right there. You don't want that slide stop to overhang if you can. You want it just as flush up as you can get it. Alright, so we're ready to move the operation back into the house. Okay guys, guys and gals, we're back here in the house. Like I say, what we've done here is do a little review. We've taken this old slide stop out, which had this substantial cut into it, and we've gone and gotten a EGW slide stop. We've just put a break on the corner there, and then we've trimmed the sides and the back down so that it fits snugly into our slide. What we're going to do to finish this out is just put a little cold blue on this to cover up that bare metal, and then we'll reassemble everything and see how we do. Okay, we've got our cold blue out here. Just apply that to a cotton ball. Apply that to our parts. Well, we don't have any bare steel showing. If you don't know it, the kind of funny thing with bluing is it really doesn't do anything to prevent rust. In fact, the bluing itself is actually just an accelerated portion of the rust process itself. So all the cold blue does is just turns everything back to black. If you leave it on there without rinsing it off, then it'll looks like we got it pretty good. If you leave it on there without rinsing it off, well, excuse me, all that'll happen is sooner or later that part will just turn brown with rust. We'll go rinse this off in the sink and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so we've got that rinsing that off in the sink will neutralize the bluing. We'll go ahead and dab that with just a touch of brake free, since we don't want it to rust anymore. And that'll finish neutralizing the process of the bluing. Alright, next step is going to be to insert our firing pin and firing pin spring into the tunnel. Take our modified slide stop. Get it started on there. The firing pin comes up. Check to make sure the firing pin's free, which it is. And then we'll wipe off some of this excess oil that I've got on it now that I have it all over my fingers. Go ahead and reinstall our slide onto our frame. Been getting a lot of guys lately. I don't know if it's just them thinking I don't know this, or them thinking that my paperclip idea is a silly deal. Well, whether you noticed it or not, I assembled and disassembled without the paperclip. Like I say, it's just a trick that I've learned that makes life easier. It has nothing to do with whether it can or can't be done. So anyway, I've got this back together. Now we want to function test it. And the easiest way to find out if you're function testing well or not is a simple little trick using a pencil. Race your side in toward your where your firing pin's going to be. Just in the barrel, point it in the safe direction, keep it away from your eyes. Pull the trigger. If the pencil ejects and the firing pin's working fine, which is what we want, like I say, to make sure that the firing pin stop is not holding it up. What can happen is this hole where the firing pin goes through can be a little tight. Sometimes you may have to do a little modification to that depending on your individual firing pin. So what we've done here is change the firing pin stop from the factory one, which had a substantial curve in it, to EGW oversized stop that did not have this curve in it. We just broke that corner off and fit the slide stop into the slide, and this should help with some of the felt recoil. One thing it will also do is it will make it substantially harder for you to hand cycle your slide. And like I say, that gets into the physics of slowing the slide down. So, anyway, hope you find this interesting. We'll talk to you later. You have a good day.